Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be the introduction to Following the Way. This is basically going to be the introduction to my blog. Basically what I'm going to do is just read through it line by line and give a little discourse on each of these sentences as we go through it. I think it'll make it a much richer introduction than just reading it alone on the internet. So let's get started with the first sentence. Following the way is a process of changing your bad habits into good habits. It's really no more difficult than that. You already know you're doing things that are bad. Just change it. Replace it with good habits. It's really that simple. It's not difficult, and you just continue that process throughout your life until you die. That's what following the way is all about. Next sentence. With each small change, you step one step closer to optimal living. So if you keep changing your bad habits to good habits, you may get to a point where you don't really have any more bad habits, and it's just, you just live optimally until the day you die. So the end goal is to live optimally and to continue that until the day you die. Next sentence. You change your mental and physical habits by observing them and their consequences. So you want to look and see what's going on here and seeing how that disturbs your mind, and change your mental habits so that you have more peace of mind. Likewise, you want to look at your habits, you want to look at how your outward actions, the consequences of them, and see if you can change them in such a way that, improves your life. It's really that simple. Next sentence. You look to see what is really going on and changing accordingly to get in harmony. It's all about you changing to get in harmony with reality. That's all it is. Next sentence. It's really no more difficult than refraining yourself from two things: indulging in pleasure and being self-centered. It's really easy to give in to pleasure. It's really easy to be self-centered. We all know that. And every problem stems from one of those two things. If you look at a tree, what do you plant a seed, and then it grows and it flowers out and all these branches and all these leaves? Likewise, that tree started from one seed. Likewise, all your problems, they're just, they're up here, all these branches and leaves. Well, if you follow it all the way back to where it really started, it all started from ego and pleasure. So that's your only two problems. I know it may be hard to believe it's just two things, but it is. Next paragraph. A mind dulled by pleasure and filled with ego isn't a good judge of what is going on. So you start out, you're like a wild animal, and as you indulge in pleasure, your senses become duller and duller and duller. And so as your mind's dull, you're not aware of what's going on around you, and it's hard for you to determine the truth or perceive the truth. So you want to get rid of your pleasure so you can see what's going on. Likewise, as your mind is more filled with yourself, it's harder for you to consider other things. It's hard to consider anything other than what you're thinking. It's hard to take in the world around you. So as you become less and less self-centered, it's easier and easier for you to see what's going on around you and understand other people. So that goes along with the prior sentence. So next sentence. So at the beginning, you might have to learn from people whose minds are clear and less cluttered, but only until you can do it for yourself. When your mind is dulled by pleasure and filled with ego, you're not going to be able to see what's going on very easily. So you might have to listen to people for a while until you can start doing it for yourself. But the end goal is for you to do it for yourself, not to follow anybody. Next paragraph. The principles that follow will help you achieve optimal living with the least amount of effort. If you look at all the spiritual texts that have ever been, you always come to the same revelation. There's way too much said. Not all that needed to be said. There's only a few things that really need to be said to help a person grow as a human being. What a person believes, that's really up to them. I'm not too concerned with it. If you're growing, that's all I'm concerned with. I'm not concerned with what you believe. And in fact, I would tell you to not believe anything. Either you put it into there's three buckets that I don't know, I believe, and then I know. I believe something you think is true, but you don't know. You haven't tested it. I'm saying you need to either test it to find out if you don't know or you do know. Don't leave it in belief land. Next thought process. I could have said a lot more, but it would have helped some and hindered others. I've talked a lot about a lot of different things with a lot of different people, and it always comes to the same conclusion. It helps some, hurts some, confuses, gets in the way. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in telling people only what works, and I'm really not too interested in discussing anything that doesn't work, at least as far as following the way is concerned. So next sentence. So I tried to avoid those topics. In the past, I didn't avoid those topics, and it just caused trouble. So now I don't want the trouble. Next sentence. I'll let each individual work those issues out in their own time and in their own way. Like I said, I don't. That's that person's issue they need to deal with. They need to work out all their thoughts about whatever it is they're thinking that they believe. They need to work all that out. That's not my problem. I've worked out my stuff. I'm fine with what's going on in my mind. Next paragraph. I'm not trying to tell you what is right and wrong. And typically right and wrong is nothing more than an ego judgment. You look at something, that's wrong, that's right. It's just an ego judgment. I'm not getting involved in those ego judgments. You work that out on your own. It's not. I'm not here to be a preacher. You're wrong, you're right, blah blah. I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to share what I've learned that's helped me, and maybe you can learn something from it and grow too. Sort of the concept of knowledge and learning and sharing. Next sentence. I'm giving you the tools to develop your own mind so you can see it for yourself. Likewise, it's more, this is basically like tools you'd give to a mechanic. I'm not trying to fix your car. I'm giving you the tools to go fix your car. Or, I guess really, I'm giving you the tools to go fix your mind. You're getting harmony. Just like you'd give a set of tools to mechanics so they can go fix a car. It's just tools. That's all it is. Don't make it more complicated than it is. Next sentence. I'm looking to share what I've learned that has helped me. I've already said that. Next sentence. I don't claim to be perfect or holy. Anybody knows me. I don't claim to be. If you think I'm trying to be perfect or holy, that's not my goal. My goal is to be in harmony with the essence of life. I'm not trying to put on an illusion of perfection or an illusion of I'm holier than thou. If I tell you something, that doesn't mean I've necessarily mastered it. It means I'm working towards mastering it, and I can see that is the end goal. Here's all I'm really claiming. I'm claiming to know what's optimal. I'm claiming to know how to get there. And I'm also claiming that I'm striving for that. I'm not claiming to already be there. That's not what I'm claiming. So don't put words in my mouth and don't try to make me have to be something I ain't. Because I'm just human just like you are. Next paragraph. A good scientist doesn't believe anything just because another person says it. What does a scientist do? You make a claim, what's the scientist do? They want to go verify what you said. You should be doing the same. I'm making a claim. If you really want to be in harmony with this life, go try it out. None of this stuff's going to kill you if you try it. It's not going to hurt you. It'll make you grow. So, give it a shot. Next sentence. A good scientist repeats the experiment to determine the accuracy of the claim. Just said it. Next sentence. Likewise, I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to... In fact, like I said before, I don't want you to believe anything. I want you to test it. A belief is something you think is true without being tested. Test it. Either put it in a no pile or I don't know pile. One of the two. I want you to actually live it to determine if I'm right or wrong. If you don't live what I've talked about, you aren't going to know. And not in this video, but in the videos to come. If you don't practice what I've said, you don't know if I'm right or wrong. Vaguely could, but probably not. You really don't know the validity of what I'm saying without trying it. And in closing, follow the way and know for yourself. Again, how are you going to know if you don't live it? That's just all there is to it. Before I started living, I thought I knew all kinds of things that weren't true. But now they aren't, because I'm in reality now, and I know, okay, that's not what it is. I want it to be this way, but it's really this way. Next, if you find this interesting and want to learn more, you can go to my blog to read the whole article. The address is Billy, and that's BILLY, hyphen, the symbol, followingtheway.blogspot.com, and it'll be in the, if you're watching this on YouTube, which I'm pretty sure you are, in the upper right hand corner, you'll see the link to this. You can go right to it, or you can go to the information section, or you can go to my channel. There's all kinds of ways you can get there, but I'm sure you'll find it if you really want to get there. Anyway, if you don't mind, please rate the video, and later, folks.